Unity Broadcasting Television don't come for unify, sensitize, and inform Salon people home and abroad. Unity Broadcasting TV don't come for developments now we country TV. Unify, sensitize, and inform we all for developments now we nation Salon. Unity Broadcasting TV don't come for developments now we country TV. Unify, sensitize, and inform we all for developments now we nation Salon. We now independent media house. We dey here for unify, sensitize, and inform Sierra Leoneans home and abroad.
We dey here so for talk, but wetin dey happen? Political discussions. You for know about Salon politics. Religious messages, entertainment self no go left bien. We no go left nothing bien no.
Unity Broadcasting TV don't come
For developments now we country TV.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all
For developments now we nation Salon.
Unity Broadcasting TV don't
For
come
developments now we country TV.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all
For developments now we nation Salon. This not the team them where we dey talk about
Sierra Leone political history.
defeating the lives of fake people.
Waiting they be na social media.
One-on-one interview, we go bring you all the hot topics.
Unity Broadcasting TV say
And we let we self and better Salon.
Let we like self and better Salon. So we welcome una to the second edition of this week program. We the broadcast live now in studio na 48 Sheka 7 Street. For be part of the conversation. Join the conversation through the platform where you watch with the civil they expect. Follow we talk on you. So today we get to look at the constitution and review. What's in it thought, what's in it take on me your name na Maria Marie Kushtumbe.
Hey, your name na Elizabeth Kefuigembe. This morning we will examine the pre-legislative constitutional review where we don't see the AG don't go tell on Parliament yesterday. This call for a concern as political parties, other government officials, citizens, then all get a pointer. And we see the 1991 constitution being come as a tag for let it take we out from the chaos we been get the civil war. This constitution over 30 years ago, it don't due for change. Constitutional amendments they be don't come. People then be don't come give them view. The Justice Kawan be don't come. The Peter Tucker be don't come. But nothing no be don't really hold water. This year we see where the AG Alpha Cisse it don't go tell on a parliament. We go discuss this around and we go get an international person where himself go give him voice to this. We'll get Honorable Muniru Lansana inside the studio and Melvin Mansare, we na a social and political commentator. Melvin don't serve na the Well of Parliament for quite a long time. Muniru na former member of Parliament for a political party. Both of them go there today for discuss this pre-legislative way they don't tell on a parliament. We see where the opposition come very strong, then say then go along with the process, but they not go take any zigzag cut. That's now from Honorable Abdel Timbo. And also we see where the all political parties then the vex say the registration of the political party na something where they not go on. So this morning we go be joined by political and social commentator also from the United States, when Professor Kutubu. Professor Kutubu na one of the leading social media commentator na Sierra Leone, well, based in the US, but na Sierra Leone. He go come and tell we in view about the constitutional review. He go walk we through the 1991 constitution before, waiting at the strives, then why the long term and would have then have been the tag where system not be done in place. We will be joined by Professor Kutubu. Me, your name na Elizabeth Kefuigembe. Please, this discussion we want to be civil, no attack. You will be part of the conversation through Facebook and YouTube page, and you go be also opportune for sending text message on the number 0769469448. This is our official number. Also, you go send a text message, it will be read and stored. My own name is Elizabeth Kefwe-Gembe, as will be joined by Professor Kutubu from the United States of America. Good morning and welcome to Unity Broadcasting, Professor.
Good morning. So now that studio day.
Good morning and welcome to Unity Broadcasting, Professor.
Yeah, good morning. So now all at the studio day.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Happy New Year and welcome to the first maiden appearance on Unity Broadcasting, as we used to be co-presenter. So how is US going and how the weather currently?
Oh, the weather actually enough friendly. It's virtually ground all.
All right. So, Professor, yesterday we see where the AG tailored down the pre-legislative hearing at Parliament, and many eyebrows were up there. The eyebrows were pointing onto a lot of things. Some they say it guess the question what will they ask. Some they say it shift from governance to politics, and not to that they really they look out for. The focus here is how much the law go be a precedent, or how whether then want for retained power. I will pose this question to you as the pre-legislative constitutional review don't be tailored in our Parliament. You are a political and social commentator on social media, and also you voiced in a salon. The 1991 Constitution came as a result of the chaos we've been getting from the Civil War. Long due ago, we don't see where the Justice Kawa and the Peter Tucker, they don't come make recommendations for this. Walk we through the 1991 Constitution and who side we don't reach, and waiting make this not be done change or review long 30 years and more until now.
For let you get to this question where you don't ask, but let you get to the answer, you get for roll back and take a look at the May 1960 Constitution, and then look at the governance. Okay, the May 1960 Constitution, where now ushering independence on April 27, 1961. Take that period of governance, you bring them to 1967. Well, okay, 1967. First, let's look into that. Because when you look into that, then you will ask a fundamental question whether we actually need any constitution. Well, some of we go always say God takes it because we see Salon at various stages. If we see after the May 1960 Lancaster House Constitution, we usher in independence, we see how governance within the country. When you really talk about democracy within the country, the government of the people, by the people, and existing with the legitimate consent of the people. Why? Because the Constitution will be there. Now, they act as an ethical foundation and the moral compass. Now, we hold the Constitution. Now we hold the country together. The opposition, APC, they came to power because of that 1960 Constitution and bring it to power. For example, which I want you a lot of examples, for see why we need for stick with it. For example, Albert Mugabe bring a one-party system and a republic. APC stand firm. They say no way. They say no way. And what you have, they get the support of the judicial part of the of governance of the country, the court system. They said with it. Now, fast forward, we didn't stay until the advent of APC when they come. When they come, they change the constitution, meaning that we move from a parliamentary system of governance where as a matter of fact, we provide checks and balance system. And we see the checks and balances that the parliament, we saw it, how it will work. We saw the checks and balances. Because now how they call them the checks and balance system, now prevent SNPP from bringing a one-party system In a republic, I can tell you, the parliament was very robust. You get people that we are committed to the other equivalent is the sanctity of the rule of law, the rule of law through the constitution, and like I said, the constitution and the supremacy, nothing else than the constitution. Now the question is why then? Because for them, for law gets to we get for ask, how did we get to this place? How get to this place? Where the logic of lawlessness, chaos, and disorder may not take over the political firmament of the nation. And people go, oh, they can't see us. When the All People's Congress Party came to power, no, forget, see, they come into power permanently now, April 21, April 19, they came in 1968. April 1968. They got small, but even the 1960 Constitution, the main 1960 Constitution, where they begin? When they begin undermine them small. How they begin undermine them? Which they do? They empty the parliament, the parliament of the SFP representation. They empty. You get all this kind of frivolous thing where they make election petition and all that. So gradually we begin to walk the way towards totalitarian rule, dictatorship, and all that thing. April 19, 1971, then we metamorphosed into a republic where them object to. They say no, because they say that they are going to have a court, and the court ruled for them. I remember the court ruled for them. So they prevent Albert Magai from, introducing any enacting any republic, let alone one party system. The one party system also they stand firm. They say no, this is not going to happen here. They say firm. Okay. One thing I can credit Albert Magai for, in a man way believing, it's certain I will not be a lawyer. In believe say, once the populace don't come and decide to what they do, so it at variance with the law, so it work up. If Albert won, he will get the majority in the parliament for being in public, as well as one party system that I can tell you with any degree of certainty. Now, APC camp, the very things away they may say they know what, they begin bring up. 1978, they usher in a one party system. Okay. So what happened now? We begin get the totalitarian government, meaning that the leader became everything that the country. He was everything that the country. This then the problem now, where there are no checks and balances. Now, what the leader want, he only accountable to his own vague wisdom, he not accountable to parliament. In effect, I should be now going to this one party system now. The leader become the country itself. So this thing we talk about, this confusion we talk about, all this problem we talk about, so leading to that rebel water today. It all emanate because of the system of governance we get, where you don't get no other way. There's no way. There is no way that lead to that. People they need to talk about that.
All right, Professor, we don't know now. Say this now lead to the 1990 war, and fortunately we don't get the constitution in 1991. But again, now we don't get the new pre-legislative where they don't tailor down a parliament. In your view, most of the things then where the AG don't put, now something where go tailor down for the ordinary citizen, or not just a way for another political gimmick?
I the right word you use. Now gimmick. Okay. I can tell for sure. I can tell. Now, what thing we also not forget now, or to them party they also, then they come up with system of governance. They not go back to the 1991 constitution. Not go back. Where now under APC, Momo na be appoint Dr. Peter Tucker said let it come up with a constitution try to get rid of them dictatorship here, this one party system, this this sit tight leadership business. But what they do again? You go talk about Daimano, but they go back again to Dr. Blight content. The part where he don't fashion that constitution, I was lucky enough, I read them. When you go to the Attorney General, just like this Attorney General with the General, they go through a lot of insertions, where they are various with the Aaron color. So in other words, the current constitution, they will just put an assembly, they get a dust. I think how and by Kuruma they see them, they not say anything they will go elongate and stay in power. Give them dictatorship, totalitarian, they left and so even in 1991 constitution, they can say I can tell you for sure, not only the Justice Cowan, there are a lot of instructions the way they put it, where all men responsible for which they get a day like this. So, for example, the president, as a matter of fact, we talk to me, that man will be there, we don't go back. That MP will be there, we don't go back. I was shocked for the president and part of the parliament also was shocked because we believe a tripartite system of governance run. We forget co-equal branch, where you get a parliament, you get an administration, and then you get a court. But everything is the president. Everything is the president. I was even made to understand, committees that the president gave for approve of how they make committees that they get for good. Which committee get for daily. So in other words, what we get, when anything happen at the other countries, that dictatorship. So the question we for actually we're waiting at the way forward. Because like we say, the totalitarian rule we get as a matter of because of APC, what to do, it usher in one. People they became very dissatisfied with the system of governance. So what you do, like I said, the chaos and disorder and entry place, the logic of lawlessness, you see, so the question way for actual way, what's our best way forward, who's kind of a constitution will bring a year, we go make we the citizens, we get the power they flow from we, and which we consent and by we, not to the government, not there for the government, they for serve the people. They cannot see themselves as masters. So now that angle they now focus on.
All right.
How do you see the constitutional review in affecting local government and community rights? You think that they do this because of the one these unions then do right? Or not for then?
You can't too low. You can't too soft. I don't know if you. The thing not loud enough for that because we talk.
I ask again, I say how you see the constitutional review they affect local government and community rights. You think say the review now for better the life of unions or not for the politicians themselves?
Oh, make no mistake now for the normal. I mean the citizens when are from the power they flow with a consent. They are not part of this. They are not. I tell you. Now I put the how they call it caveat. I say, well, what we do? We go talk about the 1991 question. We'll talk about them. We'll talk about this SPP. Still not to do. The only method or the only constitution we will help Salon. I make start first. I go back, I lay the foundation. I talk about the May 1960 Constitution and waiting the country benefit out of that. We will get good governance. The citizens we are part of it. We will get free press and everything. But once the people can they change them. So the minister, socialist or communist, how they call them, it becomes a one-man rule. So what do we for pursue now for ask? We for ask a fundamental question, which is a way forward? And if you ask me that, the only way forward now for go back to the parliamentary system of governance. The examples are everywhere. Everywhere. Because in the parliamentary system of governance, you know they get a dominant staying in power too long. Because we don't see the African countries, the leaders and they left for staying in power, say go. So if you want that, then go for the parliamentary system. Because in the parliamentary system, as long as you party they do well, then we always return at power. In the parliamentary system, you not go able to manipulate election. It's not possible. It's not possible. Now, only in the presidential system, are they a leader you able to manipulate the process of it. So back to you.
All right. Professor Kotubu, continue for stay with we. The program now, Unity Broadcasting Morning Show, as we get professor from the United States, where they throw in a word on the constitutional review. We'll take a quick commercial break, and where we come, we guests then will come inside. Good morning.
Home, office, and business growth? Then Fastnet Sierra Leone is your answer. Fastnet SL Limited offers you unlimited network with seamless opportunity to surf the internet anyhow with an affordable money to pay for. Our service is fast like a flash, and our bandwidth is the best in Sierra Leone. With Fastnet, your internet doubt is over forever. Also with Fastnet, you will love to enjoy the world of digital reality as much as you can. We are service-oriented, customer-friendly, and we are here to give you the best out of the rest. We are located at Madungo Town, opposite Water Street off Congo Cross in Freetown. For more inquiries, you can contact us on 079-83-4047, 074-982-125. Fastnet, always connected. Do you want to enjoy the much-needed fiber internet facility for both home, office, and business growth? Then Fastnet Sierra Leone is your answer. Fastnet SL Limited offers you unlimited network with seamless opportunity to surf the internet anyhow with an affordable money to pay for. Our service is fast like a flash, and our bandwidth is the best in Sierra Leone. With Fastnet, your internet doubt is over forever. Also with Fastnet, you will love to enjoy the world of digital reality as much as you can. We are service-oriented, customer-friendly, and we are here to give you the best out of the rest. We are located at Madungo Town, opposite Water Street off Congo Cross in Freetown. For more inquiries, you can contact us on 079-83-4047, 074-982-125. Fastnet, always connected. Do you want to enjoy the much-needed fiber internet facility for both home, office, and business growth? Then Fastnet Sierra Leone is your answer.
Welcome back. The program now, Unity Broadcasting Morning Show. We get inside the studio. Honorable Muniru Lansana. Honorable Muniru Lansana, a former member of parliament. We don't see it yesterday or recent, the pre-legislative constitutional review in the parliament. The 1991 constitution bid on B, 35 years over, where a lot of questions people then they ask, waiting at the long hold, where this constitution not be done review it, because it become out of chaos and away for free way from the trouble way we nation been get. Along the line, there are a lot of changes we be don't come. We been get recommendations from the Justice Kawan, where we not see hold water. The Peter Tucker, we not see hold water. Now the 2026, the Alpha CC. Alpha CC don't table this pre-legislative in the parliament, and we hope and pray say now something we will come in for the ordinary citizens. Yesterday we see the opposition come out very strongly and say they go work with the process, but any zigzag will not be accepted. Then as opposition, other sets of oppositions, then they despair the thought that the constitution want for the register them. And beyond that, they not go allow, even say Supreme Court could get a lot of petitions back to back. We know they hope for going to that. But again, this morning, we get Muniru Lansana, and I would expect Melvin Wayne, a former parliamentary reporter, inside the studio who will discuss this constitutional review and the way forward for Sierra Leoneans. How citizens and they expect, then they accept them, and waiting Sierra Leone as a whole go gain out of this review. Good morning and welcome to Unity Broadcasting.
Yeah, good morning to you and good morning to the viewers out there.
All right, Honorable Muniru Lansana, we don't see often people then they argue say constitutional review in Sierra Leone are less about people there. but more about the incumbents, especially a party where you be on serve in parliament. So you wait till you feel say this constitutional review about it consolidate executive powers on our way for disguise as a form of modernization.
Well, we know how they make law. Law not they just come for exist in vacuum. Law they come for solve problems we be done they emanate for sure saying they not come again, and at the same time law they come for prevent further occurrence of certain issues. So this particular amendment they come for solve them two areas. They are one, things that we don't happen for make sure say they not happen again, and things that we would they foresee for happen then not go happen again. So that's exactly this amendment here therefore.
So what's the main objective of the ongoing Salon constitutional review, and how this they aim at improving governance in the country?
Well, the main objective now for ensure say like I say things that we don't happen again, because if not to because Salon be don't come out in a brutal rebel war, we get things that we don't happen in this country where now be another recipe for chaos. For instance, we see the removal of the former vice president now in seat as vice president. Let's assume he was a violent man. Waiting for what happen during that time, then they just for them mobilize the young team and say we not agree. And we not agree, we know what thing will be the result of that. But because he was peaceful, he able to get down there to in nails and go sit down quiet and even go form another party will be cause and effect to APC at the end of the day. So when you look at anything there, you notice say the spirit behind this particular amendment now for make sure say we get that environment where Sierra Leone go say no more again to whatever we done evidence in the past, and we look at a way forward who say Sierra Leone will be a better place for we all.
So are you able to give me more of ways them how this exact review will improve with governance?
Yes, now that's exactly how careful do, because the first thing like we are say every law where they come for can solve emerging problems. Before this time we don't get series of arguments where they roam around the president in appointment of the electoral commissioner. Most time the party they say they're not consult we, because you look at section 32, they get the sole power to that of the president to appoint the electoral commissioner with consultation from leaders of other political parties. Now the amendment they say, okay, if this issue don't become a problem, waiting will they now bring come? Will they now bring come a section where they say yes, in as much as the president they nominate the electoral commissioner, in it they do now on immune evolution. It is done now by nominating what we call a select committee, where that select committee they consist of one person from the religious community, one legal practitioner we qualify for be a judge, one person where they represent civil society, one person where they represent the media like Deso, one person where they represent youth them, and 3 persons where they represent women organization. Them people there now they come together now for identify somebody where them believe say will be qualified for be an electoral commissioner, and the other commissioners them where they deal within the National Electoral Commission. And when you move away from that again, they also carry section where they carry qualification for somebody where fits for be a commissioner, and that will be the chief electoral commissioner. Waiting and count this qualification: 1, they say the person if you don't get a degree; 2, if you don't get a postgraduate degree; 3, if you don't be a professional person we don't get something we case for say yes this time is speciality in terms of thing, and 4, if you don't be a citizen, of course you know go count a foreigner for can be the chief electoral commissioner. And the next one, you know, don't be a minister or honorable member for letting car appoint you, because you know say if you don't serve as a minister, for instance, you must get the party way don't appoint you as minister. You know what in that mean if you go become low assume for instance we go take parental rally chief electoral commissioner. APC in fact they gonna whip at the election straight. So that thing in this thing they come for solve. And the 5th one, if you don't be 65 years and above, then they again another one where this amendment they come for can solve for make sure say then criteria they are go for who that they become the commissioner. And then when you move forward also they also try forget how the office of the chief electoral commissioner and other commissioners then they be filled, and they make them very clear now say when they appoint the chief electoral commissioner for 5 years, if for anything, for instance, he resign or he die or he left there, waiting they happen, the next person way they can fill that place they fill they done the remaining years for the one way don't go, and then go be eligible for re-election if they see and say in fit for day in that position. And then when you go to the next section, winner section 34, you don't repeal and replace the provision will be did by bringing in a new provision for make sure say then get a committee as well where they appoint the other commissioners, then just like way we don't get the chief commissioner. And then if you go to section 35, they don't bring an insertion of waiting 30% quota. Now let me tell you one thing where we don't they exist in the pretext of the law society where we work in this country in terms of as a country. We don't enact plenty laws. For instance, we enact the GWE Act. The GWE Act give rights to female representation, and beside the GWE Act we enact the Public Elections Act. Also the Public Election Act say out of every 3, 1 must be a woman. It no means if you want all the 3 go be a woman, but if all the 3 not be a woman, the 3 people where they send for representation, 1 for be a woman. But all then law then they will make no reflects na the constitution. So it tell you say a sharp lawyer we very very sharp go na court and put the country to a hold for say, you know what, all these acts will don't make so no reflect the constitution. And we get a section inside this constitution where they say any law will conflict with the constitution they takes precedent. So meaning if any law will carry they say this for not happen but it not happen, when they go to now the Supreme Court for interpretation waiting they happen, the constitution they take precedent. And when the constitution take precedent, meaning the GWE Act in percentage becomes null and void, the Public Elections Act in setup they become null and void. So government say, you know what, let's solve this problem once and for all. Let we include this 30% inside the constitution with an amendment we go guarantee the female representation, because like the Public Election Act will do now you go you count over 40 women they waiting in a parliament. Before this time Ibokute na 15, if you go highest na 17 in a pass, but now we go over 40. Why? Because of that law. But it not be reflected in the constitution. Now the constitution don't come for capture that, it don't make a must. And the other thing again, even drill and down to political party then for make sure say every political party for do likewise for do that. And also we get the one at the bone of contention. We now section 38. Section 38 they talk about elections in this country. The first one we now section 38A now be amendment we can do in Pakaba in time where we create a room where the argument around that particular section they say now because we just come on a war, but that's not the case. Plenty country then they run proportional representation. We never know what they call war, but it exists peacefully and quietly, and the people the way they do them they enjoy them. So Pakaba in the cow and the people in the associate them. So now they say okay, we pull 38A completely and we bring come other section the inside section 38 where they now create room for the proportional representation for make it become so valuable as an election. Because when you look at section 38 where they talk about the proportional representation now, it won't give a credence for say the election now is saloon for the practice now the proportional representation election. And some of we don't follow waiting at the benefits of proportional representation, we know say the benefits so much enormous. For instance, look at the recent 2 things we don't happen. Honorable Moegua die when a Blama they come out. Honorable Dura die we come out from the Tonkolili axis. Had it been a first past the post, now by election though for don't conduct na then 2 area then day. Now APC where we all they see na radios na street where they say now we for kind of power, that determination where they want show to the people of this country say we are ready to come to power and we get the might for come to power. Waiting will happen. They form them vigilante them form the marshal them for go make sure say that election a blama. They no say with all indication they not go win them. But waiting they go for go create a mayhem where at the end of the day waiting go happen. They no say not to the community, not to the terrain, not to the area. Anything where they do they would then go suffer. Now the SNPP people already did that they go suffer. At the end of the day they go do that. Low assume say now by election we they do now na Tonkolili usai do a die as SLPP. Now the time you go begin see MACP, RP, all the PP them because government go want employ all the soldier man them for make sure say like how people like say intimidation tactics. Why? Because we want show say now we in a power for win that seats there at all costs. Then thing in the nine international partners, they don't watch, they say, you know what, we don't need forget them kind of picture there again. And like how brother Emerson talk, we want get a situation outside, they say election don't done, all team done, low focus by development, because Sierra Leone is a country where even after election we continue to talk about election till another election. Let's see what's going to happen for more vote 2023 up till now. Now election we talk about 2028 today, 3 years back, but now still we talk about now. Why? Because people can just focus about election and nothing more than that. So proportional representation, they come say no, this way election done, it don't done. And the other thing is about what it saves government. With proportional representation, government they accrue a lot of money will go be used in other developmental areas. For instance, if now then 2 by election they now be conduct, what thing they happen? We they go involve a lot of money. For instance, Moigua in constituency no more, they get over 12 polling centers, and then polling centers they get over 60 polling stations, because the number of registered voters by a polling center, every 300 they give 1 polling station. So times the number of people where they register at a polling center divided by 300 they give number of polling stations at a center. Now when you times that they give over 60 polling station. Now what's thing they happen at every polling station? NEC they employ voter identification officer, ballot box controller, ballot paper issuer, you name them as the case may be. Every one of them people in the way NEC they appoint. Now waiting, now payment they go for them, and then payment in the way they go for them. Now salon money, because when NEC they conduct an election, not to the money, now the money where government they give them, now they use for conduct the election. They go for print ballot papers. In fact, they start for print what we call sample ballot papers, and then sample ballot papers and then they print now colored, because people they go and see the candidates where they go for vote for. They go for the voters education. Their voter education they do now. People they employ, they go for pay them, and the very day for the election they go for employ what we call logistics. That logistics they go for transfer the ballot paper, then ballot box, them to they go for be involved. Everything of that, my lady, when you put that together, it's over 5 billion. So let's assume now we go first na Kenema, Usai the district chairman will die. Waiting they happen, a by-election for we don't do it. We come to Moigua and a by-election for we don't happen. We go to do and a by-election for we don't happen, and then cancel or we don't die. Now by-election for we don't happen. But the PR say, you know what, we are not ready to waste money any longer. Let's come with a system where go solve this problem. And the other thing where people like you say, they say the PR system they take representation away from the people. That's never the case, because the PR system, in fact, they give you councillor way for dinner you community, because the constitution make it very clear. Say for you be elected as ruler, as a councillor, you go for emerge from the ward where you come out. And I make, in fact, following even be a chairperson, you go for day within the municipality where you contest. We all be same situation at this country. Who side the current mayor of Freetown, Yvonne Akisoya, which the one we contest for SL people in Raymond this is a judge. Then 2 people here, interestingly, they not be registered within the Freetown municipality. Who said they be registered? They be registered out of the municipality, because Raymond this is a judge be they up FBC, and FBC not fall within the Freetown municipality, but rather the rural. Yvonne Akisoya be they side around the how do they call it? When you go towards Godrich part. Now they be they and fall within the rural area. So at the end of the day, they all 2 don't register done. Then the law they say therefore they within the municipality, then be take them out and they to court. But because the court no be one confusion enter, and they would get to call in order 5 of the High Court rule, or they say consolidation of proceedings. Then we bring come them proceedings, then they for make sure say then put them together from order 4, order 5 where they talk about the High Court rules. Then make a now for say yes. Then register them. In other words, then transfer the registration from their area, then they into waiting into the municipality where then they all this now waiting now the qualities of the proportional representation and the cause then thing in the so
that happen before or after the PR system?
No, it happened before, but like, if now constituency just like they say you go for be stable who say you did, they need to count you. But then quality in the other PR they cause them for make sure say them bring you calm at a quiet and ease. So this are the other value way the proportional representation they bring. And before you come, you like this fine one where people like you say like what I say you they take power away from the people, because people they take and say you don't get no honorable way you identify now your constituency for saying I'm honorable this. But my lady, Freetown get 16 honorable. If today me where they 1-2-1, now me you for meet. If you don't meet me, you ain't get nothing. Because when you go to Koyona 1-2-2, where you actually say come on, you say Black Hole, you say go to Muniru. But now under the PR system, if you meet up Sheriff Redden Aberdeen, you come off grass field. You say Sheriff Bo, man they go college, you man not get transport. It they give you because now you honorable. At the same time, if you meet up Darami, waiting at grass field, you meet on na Aberdeen. Now you honorable because at the western area they all cover. So anyone part the way you jump, now you honorable. And when it comes to development, it's very easy. You know why? Because if they all 16 come together and say we contribute 5 million every month, they put that 5 million there for 3 months, then they able to do a tangible development where the people and go PI and see. But if you one day in a constituency, you keep 5 million every month, 3 months now almost at 50 million. Where you go to where and then even know what you don't do.
All
so
right,
all
Honorable, why should they tailor down all these good things where the constitutional review they come up with? Now let we really stick on to the plan here. With the review the 1991 constitution, we come as a gap. This gap will boil down to a lot of things we not find our nation. Now the question where we they ask, is it a problem of lack of good laws or na a lack of politicians for let them obey and implement them lawyer, or na a system where individuals and they create for puts just new wine inside the old pot again?
Well, like when you listen to pundits where they analyze the cabinet, listen me that the way they talk from the international community when I be the interview, they know say there is no perfect law. Now the first thing that the way they know there is no perfect law, and people the way they analyze the 1991 constitution, they tell you say it has way outlived its existence. So there is a whole room for waiting for not even an amendment, but a total waiting, repeal and replacement with a new constitution. But the reason we make government decide say look do an amendment first, if they grab now then say waiting, then they change the 1991 constitution, a referendum they go for, and the moment to go for referendum, election dates they move from 2018 and 2028 to somewhere else. Remember waiting go happen, they go say now because certain people want in a power, so now I make the same any do. Now when you look at APC in turn back, and it's by Kuma be take them, get the Justice Kawan and go do all what they for do inside it. They make all the beautiful recommendation at the end of the day, because they not be put more time for lost time, 2 years for make and 7 years, all that they say on a layer force, where they touch the power of the president for say they for turn and chief executive officer rather than the supreme. That day they say on a layer force, that they be make the 1991 constitution gonna corner the shell farm. Madam, you don't take them, and if you say they do it now, what thing they happen? Then they say that because they want add 2 years for himself. So now make the wisdom of the current Attorney General. He say waiting, we need to touch the entirety of this. Let we just get certain sections for them problem the way we don't come. Let we solve them now and get a way forward until the new government will come. Because let tell you, if we want get a total repeal and replacement of the 1991 constitution, what we need for doing a government will just win. We will not say probability they follow you go 10 years. Now you dey play with them. Because let's say for example, if we put now this constitution, I'll say Salon forget 7 years. If mother nine pass and mother they benefit.
But the question here is why this government not be done one ahead of time when they come immediately with Peter Tucker the recommendations. When now the power they done on them, they want for one. Why?
Well, and I can tell you say now like how the popular musicians say when this payday be, you see when this payday go be. Anytime you take an action, there is always going to be a probability of a problem. So when will this payday be? So me look at and say this payday will be someday when a president like me, for instance, will come and say I don't need a second time, I just need 5 years to solve the problem of Sierra Leone once and for all. Because all the government the way they come, we need second term. Their first priority now launch something we go make the people elect me for giving me second term. So anything where they do where they look at and say no they in their favor, they left them. But if we get a president we will say I just need a 5 term, and after my 5 years it left to the people and now for vote me or not. Now look at what do happen in Guinea, for instance. A very young man who took over as a military man, the kind change the way he do. He has over 76% of vote. Because we don't go Guinea before in Advent, and we don't go Guinea doing in Advent. The moment you pass Gambia, now suffering you depend now. But now when you pass Gambia, till you reach inside Conakry, you dey sleep safe, you know see you don't reach. You dey drive now, you go Guinea in the morning, you come back before they say 4 o'clock, you dey inside Salombac, right inside Conakry. Why? Because it don't open the eyes of development to the people. In fact, streets they will be there not to overhead, they don't create them now as overhead. So all the side way traffic be they don't solve them. In the train road it make for a mineral wealth, a long tay over 200 kilometer train road. So all these are the value they look at. So we need a government way go solve them problem they are. Look at us say the 1991 constitution don't say let we get all the justice cover now the justice the recommendation we put them together and get a new constitution we go stand the test of time because the Gen Z era with this so now and this Gen Z era more things need to be added to the constitution we go capture the Gen Z that we don't come.
So in your view, waiting at some of them critical thing that we if you say the constitution for look at we go benefit the Gen Z and to all common Sierra.
Yeah, one party in the amendment they capture so now for instance. Before this time, following you become a president, you either be APC or SFPP or any other political party. Now, for capture the Gen Z them, we count an independent president because you know say the Gen Z them will say to hell with the political party. We don't tie with Alassane and Hussein. We want to look at somebody who the judge by we own credibility and we look at the person say he's financially capable. You know say when Gen Z they analyze you, Gen Z go for analyze you as what in financially independent. And this amendment they say for you be a candidate, you go for be financially independent and they go for check you for no say yes you up to date. And the Gen Z and the kind of people and they look for. So now this amendment they bring in waiting an independent candidate way devoid of all political party. They come forward for say I want to be president of Sierra Leone.
Is it only for presidency?
Like when you say the moment you don't get presidency, you don't get all other things. That now just like the key factor where at the time for tell you say that they go capture the Gen Z there because if you get an independent president, you don't need to go to chairman of a party for waiting you want as a Gen Z happen. The president is an independent president. You can talk to him at ease without any party regulation. We go whip you at the corner for no say this now you don't do when they offend the dictate of the party. So these are the qualities that will benefit the Gen Zs of our era.
So how has the consultation of the process from different stakeholders we don't try to educate the Gen Zs as they make mention and we don't get has there been any general feedback from the general public? Say this now way to go want for let them pull this now way to go want for let them add or this. I remember some time back for we as Muslim, the Muslim community we be they plead for let we get a law we go say you for wear hijab you work now all walk of life because then they greatly they affect we don't engage community or
like certain law and they we in order to be enacted but we copy them by what we call by conduct. And what we say by conduct, for instance, nobody not stop anybody for wearing hijab for going inside where you want to go. Because by conduct, we don't adopt. I look like my sister where they now the army. We got an army woman. She's always dressed in an hijab. The army, despite they get, in fact, when you look at the most disciplined body, now the army, but they don't stop her. She's in a hijab. Go to Tanzania for instance, don't to Salon. The president is fully in an hijab. So if you look at Danny for instance, no office, no way they stop you saying enough for wear an hijab for go. So certain laws, we don't even enact them, they become by conduct acceptable.
We get offices them. No dig into that.
Yes.
How not don't consult the general public for their laws. They are waiting the public. Now don't get feedback from the general public.
There's always a feedback because if you look at the AG in work, it don't go almost right around this country. And most of the things where the AG they count, Natiwo don't spend billions of leons for get consultation. In fact, we all know this Mambu, not to the current PRO in Big Brother or Uncle. Now them be there that committee day under Justice Kawan where they go tongue to tongue, they go and educate people about waiting the change of the 1991 constitution. So a lot of consultations we have done, a lot of views are there where we bring come the Justice Kawan recommendation. And all we are doing that white paper day, the current AG don't take certain issues and they for make sure say we get them when they have us flag out and you will get a peaceful society. Then we will come now for a referendum in another era where we will finally get a holistic change of the 1991 constitution.
All right, the program now Unity Broadcasting Morning Show, we get Honorable Muniru Lansana inside the studio where we talk about the constitutional review where yesterday we see the AG just done Taylor and down Parliament where a lot of expectation there about a lot of tags then they around political parties and they hanging and a lot of citizens then also gets then major concern. The question we'll go put to Honorable Muniru Lansana is that the now factor, the why and now factor always come in as citizens and they talk them. So now the SAPP don't just decide for champion this. According to you, a lot of recommendations been there way not been come in place. The SAPP don't decide now for champion this. But we see the opposition don't come, it don't view this with deep suspicion. And this suspicion, you being a former member of the party or member of parliament, how you go breach this trust so that this constitution not going to be seen as personal documents, but the SLPP document like put on that way, but a national one?
We can always cut across, because if you look, Kuku is like my brother. Any Amadia Puga we did it together. Abdul Kabu is a colleague. We speak together. AKK, of course, is my Ahmadiyya colleague. We attended school together, despite the fact that I'm a senior for them. But all these people are people who interact. When you engage them purely, they tell you, say yes, everything within the amendment is okay, with an exception of within the proportional representation. Because their key contention is the PR system. They want what we call first past the post. The reason for that delimitation was done wrongly in this country. And that delimitation, the way them be do wrongly, if they do election 100 times on that delimitation, APC they get majority in the parliament 100 times. Because out of the 112 constituencies they add 20 additional constituencies we just come out from waiting from the northwest. And if you go take 20 seats, you keep on your underhand. You imposing the fence for 112, then you get 20 already in your underhand. Just no say you don't get start up. So as long as we go with the first past the post, that is always what is going to happen. That is why like when a journalist them we get what we call access to information. When I go neck, when I check the 2018 results we be there, you will notice say APC be beat SLPP by over 10 members of parliament in the 2018 parliament. But what happened? The number we SLPP get as a honorable, their vote put together was over 100,000 above the APC put together vote where they get, despite the fact that they be beat SLPP by 10 members of parliament. So that don't tell you say the constituencies were not evenly distributed. So that one area where we cause the mayhem. So because they know say they a particular aspect then they, if they continue for go with them, they will continue for their advantage. Now make the frown at.
So critics go say una self one for take as an advantage because una no say this one more favor una for now. Then they, as you say, then watch it as an advantage before now. So una self critics will say una self it's an advantage for una now. Now make una self they go with her.
Like what I say, everything get advantage, you get disadvantage. But when you look at the greater good, and waiting at the greater good, not at the proportional representation. I don't try for outline. I don't want to go there again because I can put in for say today. Let we not waste time for bring all the advantages of the proportional representation. But one thing where I go outrightly tell you, if today we get a data, where we put, let we cancel all existing constituencies. We do a new delimitation of constituencies. Waiting will happen at the end of the day. We go get a constituency we will reflect the views and the population of this country, then that will be fine. But if we go the current one, even if we do it 1,000 times, APC will get the majority 1,000 times, and that will not be good for the benefit of this country.
Kutubu, I don't know if you still there with we.
Professor Kutubu, you still there with we? The program na Unity Broadcasting online television. We don't get joined by Melvin. Melvin, a social and political commentator, and also it don't serve na parliament. A day after we discuss this issue. Professor, you don't hear me waiting honorable don't talk. Muniru Lansana na former member of parliament. In your view, if you say all the things we don't tell out na something where they resonate with the public?
That is but not to, that's not even the issue. Waiting as he fundamentally missing, you not get committed legislators, or in other words, this question of we get a tripartite system of governance. You get a parliament, you get an administration, you get a court. No, you know, now one branch of government. Anyhow, we result to moral equivalence now. Anyhow, steadfastly, some of we will continue for hold on to the fact since we metamorphose from the parliamentary system of governance, then we embrace this presidential system. We take up. Now we lost balance. The parliament, as we see for we honest assessment, they also did not surrender submit it to a leader. For example, this guy was removed from office. Why you call that? Samsumani. The president all by him. Yeah. Normally, when the vice president or the president now possibly duly elected to a constitutional minister. Removing any of the people that they come from power, you get what they call impeachment. But and by combating your whims, views, and caprices, he removed the man. Say, oh, because the man no lost standing at the party. No, that I can give you an example. I don't know if you don't ever hear about this woman what they call Joyce Banda, na Malawi. The party may take an action against Joyce Banda, they pull up. So they want to move as no. You see, we got for understand the supreme law in the country or in any country, not to the political party they own law. No. That for only for the party name. The supreme law in the country, it takes precedence over every other thing. For example, how many who say say parliament don't actually send call the Minister of Finance or the bank governor for letting get a rundown of the president in travel, which involved in this travel when they don't. No, you cannot do that. We don't want to hear. Say the parliament don't call the Minister of Finance or they don't call the governor of Bank of Salon for letting get heads up about the president in travel, which involved. And if we get a constitution where the administration not go use penny where the parliament don't approve of them, you cannot, because they run a clear system of governance now they run. But they can say everything at the president. You hardly hear they say you hear about parliament, the president. All this now responsible for this totalitarian madness who again at the place. All this now the president, because they don't say people they kind of answerable to them. They don't. You hardly hear them training. For example, now the president ain't go get for dissolve parliament. No, you cannot. It's not to even dissolve parliament. In a parliamentary system of governance, the prime minister ain't go dissolve the parliament. That's how we get it. But in a presidential system, you get fixed time. I don't care what it happen. Okay, like America, I wish I said we did it. Say every 2 years or every 4 years, he did it. So he didn't revoke. He did it. You don't need to tell anybody. So that.
All right, Professor. Professor, let me hold you right there. Why should they introduce we next studio guest? We just going to be joined by Melvin Mansare. Melvin Mansare, now political and social commentator, and he don't serve now the well of Parliament for quite a long time. Instead, they are for be part of this conversation. Good morning and welcome to Unity, Melvin.
Thank you very much. Sorry for coming late.
That's okay. So, Melvin, you don't look at the AG presentation yesterday. Having been part of this Parliament for a while now, which specific provision where if you say it currently acts as a look like a benefit on the surface, but then it don't shift where it go shift the balance to power, or it would be a risky direction for the people of this nation?
Hey, Lizzie, it's an academic question. Is back by this morning. It's quite political, but let me just try to unbundle what you are actually asking. Is what provisions in the proposed bill that favors the SLPP, right? And if that's the question, I think the provision that talks about, that not only talks about in terms of recommendation or proposal, but enforces and reinforces it in, I think, in two other provisions, clearly speaks the agenda of the SLPP administration.
So what's in them provisions there?
That these are the provisions enforcing that the proportional representation should subsist, that in fact its option should be nullified, amongst other. So basically what this says is the fact that despite the new and other consultations saying that the electoral system should not be, the electoral system not for be PR, as we don't see, the fact remains that the government not only propose them, but in them proposals, they re-emphasize them. So for me, I think if me for the APC, I have been very concerned about that. Why the government they emphasize or insist on PR. That's one. But again, I think Prof been the establish a very pertinent point where I don't talk about for years now in this country. Say the system or the use of governance in the help democracy, which is the hybrid. Now Salonoma would use Washington style and London style. It's unfortunate. Quite unfortunate. Because what's the unfortunate situation there is? In Sierra Leone, the president is also a member of parliament. And as Doc Mide allude, he can summon parliament. He can even summon emergency city of parliament who don't see the non-fed span. And you ask, why are we not seeing a kind of democracy like in South Africa? We are in the parliament, they call the president for question time. We are in, the rules, the doctrine on separation of powers is vastly separated. But in Sierra Leone, we fuse them. And proponents have argued, oh, it's called fusion of power. Fusion of power in this situation we'll get, like Doc is saying also, it creates a room for totalitarianism. However, that's just on our side. Let me just come to my notes because I was thinking about, I've listened to so many scholars, so many activists, so many journalists, so many lawyers talking about this. So I want to preoccupy myself with my domain, which is parliament. So, watch yesterday the pre-ledge, listen to the AG, listen to the opposition leader, listen to the mayor, listen to the chairman, listen to all the sides. Firstly, I think this is good for our democracy. And to the one that they say, why now? I think it's important because it's a recommendation of the TRC, which we submitted, and it shows that we should be committed as a nation. So why now? I think it's important now. However, my friend and brother here, seated, will be a lawyer soon. There is what is called motive in law. The motive, in this case, political motive or agenda or intention, is what people then get reservation on. And when I say people, not just the political opposition, but Lizzie, allow me for that, just bring family like in context as to who we go, because we already know how we did. So the current composition of the parliament is 149 MPs. The SLPP get 81 MPs, all right? The APC get 54. We get 14 paramount chiefs. So this is the analysis of the situation. Now, if now 2/3 get for make this bill pass or it not pass, I think that's why I want to elevate the conversation. If not 2/3, and in this case, I'm not a mathematician, but journalism don't come to teach me say math is everything. If 2/3 of 149 is gonna be waiting for make a pass or a not pass, this is the catch. 2/3 is 99 MPs of the current composition of parliament. SLPP already gets 81, and the argument there is if SLPP forgets their way through, they need to get 18 more MPs. We for add up to 99. Everybody knows that SLPP not gets her. However, that for let the bill pass. APC gets 54 MPs. And if APC want for block, which I'm sensing, either by boycott or other way, they need 45 more votes of MPs, where APC not get. So here is the catch. We always, I don't see over the last 15 to something years what in the parliament. The catch has always been the votes of the paramount chiefs. They've almost always voted along the lines of what the government wants. So assuming that the paramount chiefs them support the SLPP, this is the interesting thing. If the paramount chiefs then support SLPP, we get 81, we get 14, then we get 95. It still falls short of 4 more votes. But again, there's another dynamic story. You have rebel MPs in the persons of Mohamed Bangura and Thompson, we might be swayed towards the end of the SLPP. Already we begin to sense what Mohamed Bangura will be thinking from the pre-ledge already. So it still remains 2 more MPs for the SLPP to get this thing done, this deal done for a 2/3. So that is the catch. How will they get these 2/3? Well, I don't know. Me not call person name. The one that me know. Now they me they call you know you party there. So here is the catch. The catch here is, the APC, the SLPP therefore need to forget, even if they get, assuming they get Mohamed Bangura and Tom Thompson, they need to forget 2 more other APC votes. Who will this be? I don't know. But coming events cast their shadow.
And
well,
who were those individuals before?
Now I make them ban me in a parliament and I want to venture 2 months. But I will give people an insight. Now, this is the catch. The speaker been played in game where been played the last time. We not been glad we talk. It's gonna be the prerogative of the speaker as to what he will be using to compute, what he will use for calculate the 2/3. And like the last time, they bought over APC aid one member before they get me. Now that the speaker counts the 2/3 of MPs by those when them present. He go use section 91. My brother, can you please help me your constitution? I don't want to be vague too much. So he go use section 91. He said those who are present and voting. And guess what will be happening that same day? Now that thing I be talking that say some APC MP then Kekwe, then back then vex. Then all go let me complain to speaker. So speaker one give me ban me. I said some of them Kekwe. So what is this gonna say? APC, if they want to block this, they must have what is called the whip system adequately in place. Because anyone outside of Mohamed Bangura and Thompson we might vote outside of that line, but then get in game the other they play and I want to go into the details that in terms of absentia and other kinds of things, and I want to go in that other who knows best. But the fact remains, it's dicey. But it's not only dicey in that area, because at the end of the day, the bigger question is, what if the APC even succeed for blocker? We will be in a constitutional, what I've called a constitutional cliffage, in which we will not know what to do. Because the Constitution says, for certain of these provisions, you need a 2/3. In fact, all of these amendments, you need a 2/3. And if you don't have it, the Constitution does not provide for what next. So we are on the precipice, what then bookman can call, we're then at the edge for what are called governance and democracy go into a constitutional stalemate, where means so then go to the Supreme Court, or a political stalemate wherein we might, I'm not a doomsayer, we might see a fallout between the cooperation between the government and the opposition. That will be bad for democracy.
All right, before we can to Melvin, to Honorable Melvin, we see yesterday of course, when it comes to constitutional review, it comes with public participation. And the requirements yesterday, we see where the AG go puts the pre-legislative review now Parliament. In an attempt, if you say this is a genuine way where they go listen to the people, or not just something where go end up for be a box ticking, where go fast track the AG agenda.
Pauper hardly listens. We Pauper want to do something a Pauper, and that's my fear. And the opposition does not have the numbers, and all they have is to just stay off the process. But the Pauper will maneuver on that process, and I will suspect. So, of course, you should give credit to the SLPP for respecting the rules. SLPP right now, waiting to do so, and you call and tick in the box, but it's due process of the law. It's democratization. So you should give them credit for that. But like waiting Babatunde Awusi be one rule before he become out of this country as UN country representative. They say not everything that is legal is right. Hitler declared the Holocaust. By then it was legal, but was it moral? It was his right. Not everything that is legal is moral. So what SLPP I think is going to do, they're going to use all process, they're going to use all the process and the procedure then for let the process look legitimate, but with the content, we're not even going to the content there, with the content, it's clear that it might be just a ticking of the box. Hey, but we don't do one. We don't do constitutional review. And my fear is, if we not get this constitutional review, the next elections might be chaotic than 2023. Because the issue of what kind of electoral system we will use not going to be resolved. then the ultimate thing there is APC might not even participate in elections. What will that mean for the country's democracy? So there are lots of strings attached to what's in the happy now. And in fact, we're not even kind to the content it, so I'm not beginning to talk about the content it, where as the Honorable don't dwell on. Honorable gave lots of, I would call it gig bad, you know, but we'll come there.
All right, Honorable, let me look at the fixed election dates as this now one of the big thing with civil unions when it comes to politics, their attention all the day. Let me look at the fixed election dates and also the presidency, the vice presidency issue. And we're one we box all together with the power sharing.
Yes.
In your opinion, if you say this is good for the nation or now just also another big pointer to you governor?
Like what I say, this is not about SLPP. Most of the time, when we be the opposition, we say Anes add for himself 11 months.
But why the power sharing?
At the camp.
Why the power sharing when in more will not really the pace?
Because election is wasting money in this country.
Okay, continue.
And with power sharing, that thought of now we for come now, we back and cut the done. But like what I rightly say, where with the opposition, we say Anes add for himself 11 months, so enact 10 years, 11 months. And every other body, they do likewise. Because if you look, for instance, the 2018 election, the month we conduct them, and the month we conduct the 2023 election, you see say month elapse. Now this problem, this law they can solve. Now we're going to get a fixed date of election where they say every second Saturday at the expiration of your 5 years, meaning where you in your last 5 years, the second Saturday in November. Now in the be the dates for election, just like how America they do them in the November of the 4th year. Then the president-elect they take power in January, then they go. Now so we back don't copy that fine style day. Now make if you look at the amendment where they talk about in section 53.6, section 53.6 they say once we don't get them two president and that is the sitting president and the president-elect. The president-elect they get some few powers where you they begin put yourself together now as to like you they become do rehearsal now for when you they be swearing in. And the other good thing with that particular thing they bring come, we all don't see what thing can happen in this country as they announce result they don't take oath of presidency. So if the person don't get oath of presidency, what thing they happen? All the apparatus that the country nine order in the day. So who way you get for even go petition now for say this election results not credible. So then they all an issue where don't become problems they will they envisage. So now with that kind of system they are, you know, president elect, then they go watch it to the election, no say all petition aspects for happen, and then you come quietly and continue your governance. Then I make you say one get a fixed election date. And this fixed election date, the time where they fix an like second Saturday in November, then they will rest, they don't dry, we don't harvest plenty in there. So if you want to go for good vote, we get plenty in the way, we don't get now we bamboo hot then now way. Nobody need to go for good vote, we hungry because harvest will don't take place during the 10th day for mid of December now. And the one that really go holiday self will don't begin go holiday now. And the other aspect again where the amendment talk about, now that issue we talk about where now the removal of the vice president. Now remember Abidomi can clearly say we don't amend the section, we now don't include waiting an independent president. So if an independent president don't come, while somebody will run already as a vice president go lost in symbol and lost in seat as a vice president, the correlation not take place. So therefore, even if you lose your seat as a vice president, what thing they happen? You still continue for serve because now they the people and don't elect you and you continue for serve until you term done. That your party membership or you don't lost not get any effect on your existence as a vice president. So then they again don't come for solve and a dandy. And the other thing again where the amendment they look at now section 76. Section 76 we don't become a very keen area, especially to we where they work under government, then you want to go contest. The law they say 12 months to election if you don't resign. Now so the law they currently under the 1991 constitution. But this amendment they now say 6 months. In fact, me want appeal with Parliament and the AG. Low even reduce them to 3 months. So not to like resign you, they resign. Now leave you the ask for 3 months leave from your office because we know we they give maternity leave now, almost month, over 6 months maternity leave to somebody where get belly with they give you pre-delivery and post-delivery. So you back who want go contest election, I want let the AG and the current parliament look at this now. Let them reduce that to 3 months and let them put a proviso where they say if you go, you not get your symbol or you know we let them give you work back. Because just remember 1 year you don't resign, you go contest election, you lost. No, you not get work, you the election where you go for you not win. Usa you go there, your family they suffer, and the intention will be get not to buy the intention, that be an intention for can serve. So if you don't go for go serve, you know able serve. You not get work again. Like where the line long so it could be a problem. So me they ask that side they amend them for able to reduce them to 3 months and the 3 months forget a proviso for say the office where they resign, let them give you that you space there you go. If you not get there, you come back a car work. Yes. Then when you look at again, when you go downwards, another area where this particular 76 they talk about now that to sim. The to sim now they get some touch with and do on them. The touch with and do on them for people that are going to be appointees. The appointee they now they say I let you get you 5 sim na your business. Let the law be softened because you know appointed the appointee for can serve. The 2 sim they only maintain now for Uda for you where they go for the elected position like that of the president or the MPs. So down the back they try for amender now. So if they want appoint for instance Madam Gembe we don't count a wealth of experience in the media world who want turn and director of Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation, no wala. You go be appointed if even you get 20 sim na your business. So then the back don't come as an amendment when it comes to appointment position. Then the other aspect again we very unique now in terms of criminal act, because section 76 again they say you whether don't find one thing for any criminal act you not qualify again. But this time around the amendment don't say waiting they happen. You go serve you sentence where they don't give you. Where you serve, remember the new name way the Pademba would get now waiting correctional center. And if you don't go, they don't go correct your system. When you come, the law they say wait for 5 years. After the 5 years, we know so you don't reform. You go come back and contest. The law don't give you that leeway because you know for like what would they say cast somebody for life. Because the person don't do one mistake now in life, you cast them forever. No. For instance, if them be cast Nelson Mandela because he go prison, what thing they happen? South Africa not for ground get one of the best presidents ever in the history of the world. So now that make we look at all them big picture then they for say yes, let people don't be cast forever. So if you don't go serve, they don't give you pardon, you don't come. When you do 5 years, you know say within 5 years we don't know if you really reform. And if you don't reform, the law they say yes, come back, can contest, then you go win. Now the other good quality is where this amendment don't bring.
All right, again. Melvin, you don't look at. Now we look at again the same question back to you: the fixed dates, the vice presidency, and the review of farm, and then the power sharing. In your view, if you say this is good for the ordinary citizen, or not just a way back a gimmicks for let them stay in power.
Power sharing is not actually explicitly expressed in the proposed bill, so it means there's people not sincere. Which they talk, which they do, and not they na the proposed amendment bill. So why? It's a question for them. 2, fixed date is a good and a bad thing. A good because it casts away the doubts where we say, hey, election will be or not will be. Yeah. Where if you look at previous reports, the uncertainty around elections don't be a room for conspiracy theories to be generated and circulated. So I think it's a good thing that the government's proposing it that there should be a fixed date, second Saturday in the 5th year. However, what is bad is the fact that the timing itself, it's the end of rain season, it's the opening of the festive. Hey, you want to enjoy Europe and politics?
Yeah, sure.
No. Politics is too serious for entertainment. Politics is too serious a business. I'm not a politician, but as a political.
If you forgive a date or you propose a date, when you feel say this time for me?
There are dates already proposed by civil society and including its appetite by the political parties. And I think it's a date way before that. In early, I think it's around March or April, something like that. A date that is in the middle of the dries.
The hunger time.
How angry get for do it election?
It get a lot.
Well, how entertainment get for do it election now? Because you don't go and wear entertainment. There is no logic in that. In fact, it shows that the AG's office and the government should think better when it comes to that. My phone won't go off, but I don't mean notes today, so I go to that. Fixed date like I have already established, and you ask another third part question, which is
Well, we look at the presidency, power sharing, and then the fixed states. The vice president. The issue of the vice president.
Oh, the issue of the vice president.
Correct.
Quite interesting. Quite interesting. The proposal they give on one hand, saying that membership to a political party is not a prerequisite by way of two things. One, that proposal, but two, which is good in my support, allowing independent presidential candidates. So, owing to presidential candidates' consequences, where now you get independent, it's just logical that if that's going to be the case, you're not going to tie it to membership to a political party. But guess what it is? Even for the president, it still give membership to a political party. In the case of if you are coming from a political party, it still give the political parties the enormous powers. Because if they're sacking a political party, except Parliament can think otherwise, which is a good thing, introduction in the law, you are gone. And we know how then they happen. When party don't decide na Parliament a rubber stamp, you don't come and challenge the party. Mohamed Bangura was waiting that picture. So that in itself has got good elements, but it get critical other elements also for look at. So it good because it allow independent presidential candidates. But it's not good because it still give power where they feel say not for give to political parties. How political parties just don't decide for pull you no more, don't the constitution not tell on what basis they will pull you. It should be by virtue of violation of provisions of the constitution. But we are in that in silence. Everything goes on a railway line, or everything goes on a wall just streets, say because of the knowledge whosoever, then gang up against you. So it brings the it will make the country favor Israel. We are in any time get political disagreements. We think about doing for call elections. So that is it's got uncertainty. But there is another element here. I think say ask where there's one for. They talk about they're not able to talk about fixed rehearsal. Say there is a time frame for rehearsal. Again, this is an inconsistency of this government. This government, contrary to what many people don't talk about, say we need what we call a transition period. There is nothing captured in the proposal for a transition period. Well, I will talk about America.
We get president-elect, and if you look at Section 53(6),
yeah, what is the period?
Section 53(6) talked about the president-elect the power where they get until he take over office completely. Yeah. So that period is the way.
And look at the extant provisions of the constitution right now.
But the date they say at the expiration of your 5 years.
And so what is the current?
The expiration of your 5 year now the November waiting. November second Saturday of November now then you 5 year the end.
Yeah.
So once that they don't happen.
And there is a provision for an external 1 year by 6 months. Let's state that also.
Then enough for emerging situations.
But it's provided for let's not hide the facts.
No, the fact
it did it right.
The extension of time they only come in according to the constitution. Usai we get occurrences where they preempt. For instance, we get Ebola. Ebola, nobody need go do
extension of time not a meeting, na precedent.
No,
APC don't do so what if SPP can do am back?
No, the issue where our people where they listen we tie to the extension and time where they bring camp. The constitution already prescribed the conditionalities where they preempt what we call the extension period.
Yeah.
And if the constitution don't provide all them provision in there, it don't tell you say extension they only come just because you want come. If you get for instance like what I make example COVID.
Yeah.
No, we all know say COVID now only the thing we don't happen at the world where flight safe no flight.
Yeah.
Airport them close. Yeah. So tell me how you will conduct election during that time.
All right.
So Parliament get the power for extend in 6 month time just twice. Not more than that.
But because the provision is conspicuous.
In a situation like this,
when is it past 12 months?
Melvin, in a situation like this,
past 12 months, then the
silence
okay,
about
Melvin, let's come back to you.
There is never a perfect law.
No, we don't need ambiguous laws.
Melvin, let's come back to you.
Yes,
Let me forget about this ambiguity.
Yeah.
In a situation wherein none of them thing not happen, or peradventure something can happen, but this election date has been set aside, second Saturday, November, plus or minus, not enough for stopper.
At all.
And something happen, if we say any government or anybody or president go come and talk say again, so don't happen, this pandemic don't happen, we know for do
no, there's something that will happen.
That's what I'm saying. That's the question. Is there a provision?
Yes, the constitution has made room for that.
All right, so Melvin, that situation, waiting the ordinary citizens go say.
Brilliant question. brilliant question. So this is the provision that now 6 months Parliament can extend that. But what if the situation continues after the 12 months? The law is silent.
Silence. I agree.
So why do you want to have a law? So that is a caveat for, let's say, like how we be hearing about that attempted coup. Then go make a non-government say declare public emergency because of certain things. Then government say it's gonna be a discretion of the government now when for lifter or when not for lifter. It's an ambiguity for authoritarianism. Papa, they're very clever. They're very, very clever. That's when you deal with that. You need two approach. You need the Bookman approach and you need the radical inclusion or exclusion.
but like what Melvin they say, the 1991 constitution is crafted by very educated people.
Of course.
And like what they say, the preemption what we do, they talk about critical issues way for emerge.
All right.
And
let we bring Kutubu inside.
We need to preempt any issue or occurrence way for happening and it lasts more than 12 months. Because even emergency, Melvin no say the highest time for emergency na 3 months.
How much Ebola be last for?
Na 3 months, and after the 3 months.
Ebola, how much be last for?
Ebola no last for 1 year. You know that.
How much Ebola?
Yes, it no last for 1 year.
Ebola.
Yes, it no last.
All right, Professor Kutubu. Professor Kutubu, are you there?
Yeah, but
Professor, are you Professor? Gentlemen, let's listen to the side of Professor Kutubu. You there? You don't hear the two gentlemen in the studio waiting. They don't say with regards to election dates. In your view, how you feel say if there is any reoccurrence of either pandemic or something will go cause a halt on this election date, go hinder the elections where the Sierra Leone or the ordinary citizens will expect for a hold?
Now, Elizabeth, once you're not sorting it with Monaya, you're not sorting like this and a kind of a question we need so. You know, say Naya, you still Naya, you know, bring them up. Now, would they wait 9/11 take place at this country and 9/11 take place? What you bad up past 9/11? But election take place. Rudolph Giuliani now the mayor of New York. They call him mayor of United States. He role he played by the 9/11. But if you don't doubt a point in terms of office, they don't wrong. So he tell the people and say, well, let them get some really try for let them. No. Why you don't do well, okay? You see, once you make a law, you begin the cherry pick and lemon drop, begin make all that change. Now the road to totalitarian madness standing. Okay? Once you don't decide say this line, that I make United States they tell me say we. Now after heaven, now we are number one.
So, Professor.
After God, now we are number one. Now they tell so. If you be there, it is why you don't go even bring that kind of question there.
Well,
let's look at it.
Professor, when you look at the Ebola situation, we hold on
elections.
No. That is that's something where you're not able for alter because anything can happen.
That. No way. Let me tell you, say, I can understand, they are, but as soon as we don't come on and a different way, no way, they will say, let it postpone election. No way. Elena, one person remain that take place in this country also. Everybody in the United States ground. Now one person left. November you will go vote. Now one person will go vote. Then I think.
All right, the program now, Unity Broadcasting Morning Show. We get Professor Kutubu from the United States, Melvin Tijan Mansare inside the studio, and we also get Honorable Muniru Lansana inside the studio. We discuss around the constitutional review. We say the tag day right now is about the election dates, and if there is anything will go happen, something will go alter, whether indeed the dates go stand. However, they say 6 months extension. But how long will that 6 month extension be? We go to another thing. Now we look at previously the appointments of the Electoral Commission. It also they only on the presidency. Now they don't say then they change it. But they get 9 individuals, then we will come and decide, make suggestion or give recommendation to the president. Say now this person we get due to the committee here. Now, let's start with you, Honorable. If you say this will help the political process or now way again for drill in the form of selection?
Well, like what I say, it come again for solve the problem. Who side they say this person where they appoint a party person or the president in prerogative for do am. Most of the time, the question around consultation don't always be a very critical question at this country. When we know it don't report for parliament many years, and always the argument we are not consulted. We are even when Low left the commission and now plenty other issue with the kind of parliament. Melvin, what did they say? We are not consulted. We are not aware. So now because government in its wisdom through the direction of the AG, they don't count conditionalities now, and people where them believe say them people are forget what to call credibility. Melvin is part of the media. If we appoint Melvin, who has served parliament for years as a media man, as a member of that committee, for able to appoint for which somebody, I believe say that person they will be a better person selected. If we appoint 3 women there, we know say they want to see how female looks go happen. Maybe for the first time we will get somebody where they can add to Christiana Top Up for another second time for make sure say he become a commissioner. And if you accommodate all them people are youth, like what I say the Gen Z them. Now this is a room for cater for the Gen Z them for able to select the young person where they know say when he become commissioner, go able to get the words where they really need. So all these are the conditionalities. And me they look at and say yes, now because we don't get them problem the way we done day before, now this is coming to see that never again people go to the radio station or television shouting president has done things. And one thing the constitution is very smart. The consultation where they can always say there's a provision within the constitution where they say nobody should even inquire whether the consultation was done or not. So now because that provision don't say nobody will even inquire whether the consultation was done or not, now I mean they say okay, low left that now, let we count them people when they would get as a select committee for able to get to a commissioner.
All right, Melvin, let me quickly run through this. This committee for give recommendation to the president for appointing electoral commissioner. Now something we really good, or if you say it go hold water.
Lizzie, I don't know if you spy me notes or you the conjure. I will tell you just the right. Now you just ask me so. I describe her as a situation of an old wine in a new bottle. Old wine in the sense that the president has always been doing it. New bottle is the fact that the committee is now being fronted to passively doing the work. But guess what? How the old wine and the new bottle all fiber. Now that the one man I get for decide who appoints members of the committee. The proposed bill say the president at the current state. You know this argument, if you want to enjoy and find it, now when you look at what is new and what is old. So this not so old wine new bottle. This not so new wine in old bottle. This now old wine in a new bottle as coined in the proposal. So for me, I think that for me, it just foster or fester political mistrust because at the end of the day, the president still gets influence. Similarly, it also talk about when it comes to the amendments on Section 155 on the police. The Inspector General of Police. Yeah. It's recommended the same committee. So you ask, does it have to be the committee have to be appointed by the president? When in the actual sense, the reason or the logic for the proposed review or so-called review in that provision is to have something new. What is new? Just count more people where they can get fine per DM, get appointment for the time being, where maybe it will be party picking there or job for the boys, and at the same time they will do the bidding of the president. That is the fear. Whether that will be the actual case, it's an hypothesis. But the fear there is what has been happening and not they happen. Where the pass a job. Now salute don't see over years. Me elder brother there America, you know, I've not been to the US yet, but I follow the US politics closely. And you were asking a very pertinent, I will come back to the point, a very pertinent question. What if an unforeseen circumstance exists? It's try for, well, I don't want to sit down, try for discard the question by saying, if you are in the US, you cannot even ask that question. But globally, there is a precedent. Donald Trump did blast Vladimir Zelensky now. He said because Zelensky used the war against Russia, not for call elections. In fact, he's saying government is illegitimate. So your question was apt because geopolitics is telling us that is happening. So not because they be in America, I mean to say it cannot be any other way, not be in a salon. It be in Ukraine. Zelensky don't hold power in Ukraine because he see the world effect. Donald Trump don't blast for that. So I think that argument from Prof should be reviewed. There is this other aspect to my notes that I think we should shed light on. We for do it. I will talk about the police. All right, the police is just the same thing. But the good thing here is, on this proposed bill, there is a good thing. It is clearly, expressly saying that they must not be partisan.
So, Section 155.
That is a new introduction, in fact.
Yeah.
But however, the same bill not tell we what are the pros and cons for this to happen. I expect it should be, this might be coming with a regulation, right? Yeah. It should be coming with a regulation.
Why should they try for roundup? Honorable, I ask you this question now. In your view, let's look at the follow the money. The follow the money drill. The follow the money drill. I put on this way. You feel say this na yes or no question, and I go ask Melvin. The follow the money drill. You feel say the funders of this review go influence or then go dictate the outcome?
Not absolutely, because the outcome is determined by Parliament. Parliament is a supreme independent body on its own, and decision taken by Parliament is only Parliament that has the power to revoke that decision. But
also, you know, say this the follow the money drill also go be influence the Parliament too.
Like what they say, then they happen backstage, and for every law where they go, we all know say we go to call lobby. So if you lobby and you succeed in your lobby, then that's up to you. But the fact remains, Parliament has an independent to take a decision, and decision taken by Parliament can only be revoked by Parliament.
Melvin, so you also follow the follow the money drill. You feel say the one day where they influence, where they sponsor this bill, go influence or dictate the outcome?
Two perspectives to that. Firstly, to answer your question, other than the one that we fund this process, how much they fund, why they fund that, why now? That is the question also. And again, another aspect to follow the money, there's a proposal in this law which I think is good, where makes that, well, for an independent candidate, this is the dangerous. I mean, I put it, you need to tell my notes on follow the money. It is saying that financially capable enough and community support. Yeah. So when we talk about follow the money, the good provision there is this proposal is now saying that political parties regulatory authority or political parties commission now they make a compulsory that candidates and party them once they don't declare date for election for submit returns on them bank accounts and assets. This is good because now we get Jagaban. All man is celebrating now. Even SLP also. Jagaban is a political threat anyway. But nobody is asking where is sources this money. What's the source of this money? So this proposal is saying that, and it's very important now that we are going to allow independent presidential candidates. So on the following the money drill, almost governments put by this process, almost international partners put. We need for no. Will be because we see a percent also where international partners then pull on that the same government can tell me. So let's have the clear figures first. How much government is spent by the process? When will this process actually end? And if there are donor partners, we already know why, because this is a TRC recommendation. So on the follow the money deal, I'm glad the way the provision needed now that political parties, they're pauper. I was shocked that political parties, their statements of bank accounts and their assets, it's not public. In fact, it's not available. With all due respect to the institutions are inside, it's not available. So imagine now Jagaban with the council. I'm not picking on him. Of course, there are all rich people in the SLP too. People like Sidi Tunis. He's also rich. But if we are going to play the plutocracy politics, this provision is putting safeguards to that. But however, there is a downside. The demerits are that, and not tell me waiting a sufficient amount of money. 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion. We don't know. So for me, I think that is a, but by and large, I may not go sit on any platform for somebody go just talk about the negatives about this proposal or just the positives. My duty, I have read it, I think 5 times now, even this morning a refresher, and I've got my own personal policy brief on it. And only for even read what I write for Canada, because I think nationally you're not going for diverse politics, because at the end of the day, a politician is going to go decide who side for go or not for go. But we should look at the bigger picture. I think that's what you've done in asking broad spectrum questions for more insights. And I think this is what we need, not a skewed conversation on, oh, na bad bill or na good bill. No, now the people are going to ultimately decide. And that's another danger. If it continues to be filibustered in Parliament, then there will be no referendum on consequential clauses. And if there is no referendum, then at the Magban, at the same old style we use 2023, now we for continue. So this is a slippery slope for the opposition and the government, and they must play it very well because at the end of the day, national interest should prevail.
So lastly for me, Honorable, how this constitutional review will impact balance of power among the three arms of government? Earlier on, Melvin make mention like where we get South Africa, I said Samon the president. So how exactly we will get power balance with this new review? Is there any?
There has always been power balance because separation of power, they always exist with checks. And I make the concept itself bring checks and balances. The president is spending the money past parliament approval, or else that money will not be spent. The president appoints any minister past parliament approval. That's the clear balance that is existing. Yes, we'll not get an occurrence to say we president they come openly for can answer to questions in parliament. We not get it because that has not come forth yet. But that does not mean we are not having systems that are checkmating excesses within institutions and that of government. We are having it.
So Melvin, what do you get for say towards this?
We never change the constitution. Now look at the hybrid system, which is my disappointment. We cannot be having two systems for one state. It's either we use the Westminster system, wherein if it's the Westminster system, there is what is called Prime Minister question time, in which the Commons or the law or any one of the houses in the UK Parliament can summon the Prime Minister for question. In Sierra Leone, it's impossible. If you try for do that day, in fact, the president a member, the president na leader of his party, na president of Salon, na member of Parliament. Political theory say power, absolute power, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. In the situation we get, now a situation of absolute power. And my biggest another disappointment is that this proposal not address the elephants in the room as mentioned by Honorable consultation. The Constitution say in section I think 171 interpretations, it say consultation is not imperative. Why can meet you for consult with you, not mean to say but you agree. It's not clearly defined. So I mean hope that this proposal for clearly define what is political consultation, particularly when it comes to appointments. Would that for do waiting, would that for respond and how? But that is also ambiguous. So it's almost the same thing. Some of the good things are good, one of which is for you, the women. And now you know woman politician. And now you know woman politician they celebrate this. 30% quota is now enshrined and well it's proposed to be enshrined. If people be there some people and they like no good thing in the book but I mean it's good that some people then get people like
I don't talk about it.
The 30% is one of the best thing to happen in this proposal because now it gives women, it makes representation a right and a privilege but you get bought back. We Honorable be don't talk and not talk that side.
So it's not the bot.
The bot that's at the bottom, the 30% is only applied to members of parliament and council, mostly political parties. It does not apply to elected and selective positions. And if you don't say 30% is allowed now by law, you will be very specific for elected and selected positions. A case study is that cabinet is not 30%.
No, Jiwi don't address
that.
No, Jiwi is not the
time don't
Jiwi is not. No.
All right, gentlemen, we are running out of
half of an hour. Why not put all?
Gentlemen, we are running out of time. The program Unity Broadcasting Morning Show. It's a very civil and fun conversation where we like here. We try to make it fun and nice. So, Honorable Munir Lansara be there inside the studio with we really appreciate Una. We go just read few because of we guest them, like we honor them with respect. I get Joseph. Joseph say congratulations to the reviewers and the studio. I am really happy. The conversation is civil. Congratulations to Unity Broadcasting. Una self una dey try or waiting una get. Una tell me. I don't know what Joseph means about that. To Honorable, I know, right? To Honorable Munir Lansana, I am really impressed. I wish they can get you back into Parliament. What is holding them? You can be a very good debater. And by the way, please try as best as possible to go back in Parliament. So when the power sharing comes, your name can be number 1 this time, not number 2 or 3, 4, 5. I presume that happened. That will be the only 2 messages when we go read. Bilkis go read 3 messages from our Facebook page, and we go try for roundup as we guess them. This person they say, Melvin, can you publicly provide the raw data total vote quote, use reminder calculation and allocation steps to independently verify your MP figure for both SLPP and APC under the PR system. Melvin, get a question though. Now they skip some first. Oh, okay. This other one they say, Melvin, you argue that strict consultation must be upheld and that power sharing undermines democracy, but given Sierra Leone history of post-election instability, is it a responsibility to insist on rigged constitution purity when national peace and governance continues are at stake? And this one, they say the constitution is smart, but the runners of the constitution are duping it to ensure their own interests. PR system should operate within a broadband. Better explanation is needed, please.
All right, so these are the few way we get, and the whole host of them did na the page. Muniru, why see the try for roundup for you class? In just 2 sentences, what are you view about the text messages?
Well, my view now that the proposed bill the parliament now, and every other person gets a way for expressing say, because Naimike study will get a privilege when at the preliminary part where they really make a room for let everybody contribute to the bill. But I want to rest assured the people of this country say this bill is intending for the goodness of this country, and we want to see how they create an everlasting peace.
All right, Melvin.
Unfortunately, the family I go beg on a pardon. I tell them thank you for where when I send a message, and I will give them from your phone because I 2% I get because light's not in my area. Back to and I would laugh. Get light. Back to your question. I think people are asking very scholarly questions. Unfortunately, I'm not going to read the text, but if you can summarize with now the first question, I think if the person asking whether we should mortgage. I'll not get the question clearly, but if you can summarize it, I think I can just take a very quick one.
If provide all data of total voters.
Oh, just Olande. That person might be coming from the left, basically disputing that maybe even then sits and they read in our parliament now rogue seats. But unfortunately, APC they say they rogue then and not get data for proof. SLPP they say they win and not get data for proof. And again, for the constitutional review, that's a critical issue where I know there are many people that talk about as to how the result is announced. It is captured. But because it gets a lot of mathematical nuance, and there are people that talk about that. So, that was an argue, because back not get that for say whether the election was rogue or not rogue. But within US ambassador and Carter Center and new then say, and waiting me see with me, yeah, you might be right. It might be that 81 or 54 way SLPP, way 81 way SLPP gets and 54 MPs way APC get might not have been the actual thing. ECSL not provide raw data for that. I'm not, but that is what is available. And if you are doing an analysis now, what you get, now you analyze. So I respect your views and your reservations, but that is just the case. I analyze based on what's in the public. All man will say SLPP 91 MPs. The second question is,
I think the person they talk on power sharing.
Like I don't say, SLPP they're not nominating on the talk, you know, they're on the proposal. There's nothing on that, so I'm not waiting for say more than that. They're not sincere in their power sharing. If you want to do power sharing, it should be based on the law, and the law is not providing for that. And if you have an amendment situation now and you not put on there, why you even can't talk about them? So it exposes the inconsistency of the government. But that is not to say there are not consistent provisions where the SLPP don't champion or where they try for champion. However, Fambulemi, long and short, and in this case, it might not done because SLPP not get 99 MPs, APC not get her, and even if SLPP them both game with the Paramount Chiefs, then we still need 4. And even if Mohamed Bangura and Thompson say that they sell game or cross votes, SLPP still need 2, and who that go be then 2 then they? If I be the APC for the put camera outside in the parliament, for all MP. And there I go stop.
All right, the program now Unity Broadcasting Morning Show. Plenty. Thank you to we studio guests Melvin Mansare, Honorable Muniru Lansana, and to we international guests also. Professor Kutubu, plenty. Thank you. It's been a long time, and we really appreciate for joining us for discuss this great opportunity. And wait to be they wait for see this constitutional review. Me, your name now Elizabeth Skifwe Gembe. Plenty thank you to una we send una text message, una read. Apologies and una way not send. Tomorrow, if you not send, Lizzie the vex by you. Una thank you and bye for now.
Plenty thank you to technical head David Adin, your assistant winner Alfred Pewawe, also the serve as head of camera operators, in your assistant winner Nelson Coca, and to the producer Suleiman Jallo. Me your name na Maria Marie Belkish Dumbe. Assalamu alaikum, tata.
Unity Broadcasting Television don't come for unify, sensitize, and inform Salon people home and abroad. Unity Broadcasting TV don't come for developments now we country unify, sensitize, and inform we all. For developments now we nation Salon. Unity Broadcasting TV don't come for developments now we country unify, sensitize, and inform we all. For developments now we nation Salon. We now independent media house. We dey here for unify, sensitize, and inform Sierra Leoneans home and abroad.
We dey here so for talk, but wetin dey happen? Political discussion. You for know about Salon politics. Religious messages, entertainment self no go left bien. We no go left nothing bien no.
Unity Broadcasting TV don't come for developments now we country unify, sensitize, and inform we all. For developments now we nation Salon. Unity Broadcasting TV don't come for developments now we country unify, sensitize, and inform we all. For developments now we nation Salon.
This not the team them where we dey talk about
Sierra Leone political history,
defeating the lives of fake people.
waiting they be na social media.
One-on-one interview, we go bring you all the hot topics.
Unity Broadcasting TV say, and we let we self and better Salon.